Welcome to another edition of Maritime Gateways Digital Dialogue. Today we have a guest with us, Mr. Harpreet Singh Malhotra, Chief Managing Director of Tiger Logistics India Limited. Tiger Logistics India Limited was founded in 2000 in New Delhi. What started as a custom house agency transformed into industry leader in providing customized supply chain solutions. With an employee strength from 8, it has grown to 300 professionals. Tiger Logistics is listed on Bombay Stock Exchange, thereby becoming ninth Indian logistics company to do so. And as far as Mr. Harpreet Singh Malhotra is concerned, he is a first generation entrepreneur. He turned entrepreneur at the age of very young age of 27. He is a commerce graduate from Delhi University and also alumni of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi. He is on the logistics committees of several organizations like ASSOCHAM, PhD, Chamber of Commerce, and so he regularly contributes his perspectives, ideas on logistics on several publications and also several fora and conferences. Welcome to the show, Mr. Harpreet Singh Malhotra. It's a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, to meet you, and I'm glad that we connected again, and at least we are talking again. Thank you so much.
We were just talking about it is 6 months now. The COVID situation has affected our lifestyle, our businesses, and especially logistics suffered badly because of disruptions happened in transportation. So, can you briefly tell me how was your experience during these 6 months, and has normalcy restored, and how do you come out of it?
So I would say that logistics from the time it started, it just the worst thing which happened was that overnight the switch was turned off, and which really didn't give us any time to kind of plan, to kind of take some important decisions, or to manage some of the shipments which were in the pipeline, or to have a planning done for how to handle this lockdown. So I would say that the first 2-3 weeks were very, very difficult for us, because there were shipments which were at the port, there were shipments which were at the pipeline, there were shipments which were at the destination ports. Bill of ladings were not issued, containers were either on the way to the port, or they were getting stuffed, or they got stuffed and they were at the port for custom clearance. So I would say first 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks were, there was a big chaos in terms of handling this lockdown. But yes, slowly over a period of time, we were able to overcome all those problems. And over a period of time, things, as you know, that Indians are a quick learner. So we were able to manage things, very smoothly over a period of time. Things got streamlined after a month and a half. And then, of course, there was till, I would say, May, there was a complete lockdown. The factories were shut and things were completely in a lockdown state of affairs. So things started picking up only in June, July, I would say, maybe middle of June or so. So first 2 months, April and May, were mostly, we were engaged in sorting out all the old issues, the shipments which were affected in the month of March. They reached the port, they reached the destination ports, getting them delivery, getting them delivered, various detentions and demurrages which were there. A lot of payments were stuck. So we are still fighting a major financial liquidity crisis, because people are still not paying us. People just need excuses. So everybody just had an excuse that there was a lockdown, there is a lockdown, our payment is stuck, so we can't pay up. But shipping lines or airlines don't listen to that. They want their payments upfront. And most of the lines, 100% of the lines, they withdrew the credit lines. They said that we want all online payments, and it was a big chaos, big chaotic situation which we had to face for at least 2 months or so. And of course, then when these old issues got sorted out, and that was the time when we started moving towards how to work towards the next few months, because we knew that actually within 2 months it dawned on us, and everybody started realizing that this problem is going to stay. It is not going to get over, because when the lockdown happened, we thought maybe 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks, things will be fine. We never knew that it'll become so big, so massive that the whole thing will collapse. So only by the end of May or June, we realized that problem will be there for a longer period. So we had to gear ourselves for a longer in the lockdown and facing all the issues, crisis in terms of liquidity, in terms of late deliveries and things like that. So things have been tough initially, but we discussed that we got used to this things of getting delayed. And in each shipment, we are finding that there are, in terms of containers not available, VLs getting delayed, payments getting stuck. So that's become a new norm, I would say, And I just pray, I just hope that it gets little streamlined and the margins are taking a hit. So it's kind of quite a chaotic situation this point of time, I would put it like that.
In continuation to that, what do you see in the next 6 months or 1 year?
I personally feel that for next 6 months, we must focus on our core strength. We cannot be too adventurous. Like if you ask, we were looking, if you talk of in February, we were looking very bullish 2020. And, we had our growth plan in place and we had a lot of planning to start new product lines and various things had been planned. But unfortunately, when this thing happened, we had to put all those plans on the back burner. So I think that next 6 months will be till March end, things will be tough. We can't expect, we can't afford to be adventurous. So March end, I would say that things would be tough. Then things will start picking up. It is immaterial that the vaccine is not going to, maybe it will coronavirus, but it won't cure the problems which are facing the economy. So to economy to kick in, it will take some more time. So my outlook is that till March 2021, things will be difficult. We must conserve whatever we have. We should ensure that we should not be adventurous. We should not get blinded by the business. That's what our policy is, and that's what we are following also.
Your company is into air freight, sea freight, and cold chain, project logistics, all sorts of services. So what actually is the core strength? Which segment of these contribute major component of your company's revenues?
So we are basically an outbound company where for us exports is a major contributor. And things have started picking up in last 2 months. So we are picking up big volumes as far as the auto is concerned and even projects are concerned. But we are also saying no to a lot of businesses, especially risky businesses in terms of commodities, especially businesses which involves long-term credit. So we are saying no to maybe 30-40% of the business which we were doing earlier, because earlier we could afford to give credits and afford to take some risk. But at the moment, time is not right, I would say. At the moment, time is not right. So we are focusing majorly on our core strengths, which is auto, which is projects, which is yarns and textile, and to some extent also cold chain and seafood.
Industry trends indicate that e-commerce is picking up a lot of interest, lot of business, lot of opportunities. What is your take? Are you into any of these e-commerce support services?
No, we are not into any e-commerce at the moment, but we do have plans for a digital platform to be launched in, maybe by next year. So we are already working on a great digital platform, which I think we should be able to launch by next year. So that's what it is there on the pipeline. But we are not looking at investing anything into e-commerce at the moment, because that space is already overcrowded. There are a lot of people there. We want to stick to our core strength, which has always worked for us. And we don't see anything. The time is not right to get a new business opportunity, at least for next 6 months. So our take is that focus on the present business, focus on our core strength, and at least for 6 months, work on that. So that's what our policy is at the moment.
You were looking at US and Middle East markets some time back, and you had some collaborations also. Can you give me details of how is it working out and what is the current status?
US is working well for us. US still remains on the top agenda for us. Of course, Gulf we are doing. Gulf also, business is picking up. we had some plans of collaborating more closely after February. I was traveling for a month in US in February. And again, I was planning to go there in the month of August, but to further strengthen, we had planned a big roadshow in US, but those things got a little delayed. But yes, in times to come, US always will remain our top priority. And we feel that it has a lot of potential, and we feel that we can work very well in US. Yeah, that always remains on the top priority.
Actually, what kind of cargoes that are you are focusing when you talk about US market?
See, US is a very diverse market. US has a lot of auto parts moving. US has a lot of food items moving. US also has a lot of industrial items moving. Then India is importing a lot of products from US. So it's a highly diverse market for Indian products. You have home furnishing, home products, garments which are moving, furniture which is moving in a big way. As I mentioned, auto parts is moving in a big way. Frozen foods, processed food, all these products are moving in a big way. So it's a basket with a lot of products. So idea is that if you are you have to be there in the US market, and the market is growing with some Chinese problems and issues going between US and China. A lot of manufacturers and a lot of buyers in US are looking at India as a big supply base. So I think the products, as I mentioned, which few of them, but it's an ever growing market, I would say.
Market indicates that warehousing and cold chain storage facilities are a very hot area to get into. Do you have any plans in getting into physical assets, or you want to be asset light and then stick to only providing logistic services?
See, we as a company, we've been a asset light company, and that's what we would like to be one. We are surely looking at cold chain, where we feel that there is going to be a big potential in coming years. And cold chain is one area which definitely we are looking at to invest into, and we feel that this is one area which can definitely give us good returns in coming times. Warehousing, I'm not very bullish, because that market is already very crowded. And in India, still warehousing remains more of a godown keeping. So we are not really looking at warehousing. But yes, cold chain is one area where we are very, very keen. We are looking at some right partners, overseas partners who've got some expertise in this area. Maybe you're also looking at some joint venture possibilities of how to get some foreign expertise into this, and of course foreign capital also in this space. So we are very keen for cold chain as a very strong vertical for us in coming years.
You are also extending services in the segments of defense and paramilitary. And defense has suddenly got a lot of focus in terms of opportunities in India. So what do you think of this sector?
That sector is growing. As a company, we have always been very, very closely working with the defense organizations, and even in the lockdown period, we moved some good sensitive cargo, which I can't divulge the details. We've been working closely, so that area will definitely. It's a niche area. It's not that it contributes big way into our revenues, but that adds a lot of credibility to the company that we have expertise to handle these sensitive cargoes as well. So we have that expertise, and we've been continuously, I think every month we have something or the other moving. So it's a growing area for us, and it's an area where we feel that we want to grow further, because I personally feel that this is, whether it is lockdown or anything or recession or anything, this area will always continue to grow. And India India is becoming a hub for outsourcing for even the defense products. So this will be an ever growing area even for us. Yeah, so we are focusing very closely on this.
Information technology, I think you are one of the few early companies who have made use of it for providing customer services or transparency or whatever. And COVID situation has in fact accelerated digitalization in our industry. You were also mentioning about building a digital platform. How are your IT-enabled services or helping the customer, and what are you looking at?
I would say that we've always pioneered the cause of getting the IT into logistics. So we've been since last I would say 15, 18 years, 20 years. I think we started 20 years back, and at that time also when we were filing the shipping bill, through the computer. So I still remember we had two computers in our office, and we were the first ones to get a software made, and the shipping bill was being filed, at least being printed through the computer, not on the typewriter. We had the typewriter only to do some amendments, because at that time the computer was not programmed as such to make small corrections. So we've been, very much. We've introduced IT, like we feel that this is one of our major strength, and we continuously keep on investing, keep on evolving, keep on changing the system. So all of our customers are taking benefit of that, and we feel that in times to come this will only grow. So we want to reduce dependence on physical movement paper. So that's what we are working towards, and I think in another few months we should be able to achieve that. So to a great extent that has been done, but few more months to be done. So we feel that we will be a completely paperless organization. That's what my aim is.
Ministry of Commerce is coming up with the national logistics policy. The draft is ready. And you are one person for the last 2 decades. You are in this industry, must have seen a lot of challenges as well in logistics. So if you wanted to list down 2-3 key specific issues that you want the policy to address, what are they?
See, the most important is that if the logistics should be recognized as an industry. Logistics is a very important arm of any industrial activities which happens in India. It is directly related to the GDP of any country. And if you're looking at today, we have a logistics cost which hovers around 13%, 14%, whereas if you go to any developed country, it is anywhere between 9 to 11%. So if we want that logistics cost to come down, the most critical factor today is the finance cost, which is very, very important. Today, you go to any organization, any rating company, any rating organization, they don't look at logistics as an industry or as a priority sector, because they feel they will never look at you as a priority sector, because they still find logistics as which is not doing well, plagued with so many problems. So somewhere down the line, if the government gives a priority sector attention to this logistics sector, I think that is one of the key areas where which will help us. Second most important is that if a priority is given to the banking people, that they have to lend at lower interest rate for the logistics industry, because today most of the logistics industry, most of the logistics companies are working more like bankers. Like if you don't give credit, you won't get a business. So that increases the cost of the logistics cost. So today interest cost is a very prime cost into our whole working. So I think subsidized interest is very, very important for us as well. Third, I would say the most important is that subsidy in terms of how we can. I won't call it subsidy, but introducing a curriculum, a logistics curriculum at a higher level, which will help us to get more good people, good quality people. Because today, getting good quality people is a big problem for us. So you may have finance, you may have other segments in higher sectors, but logistics, if it is introduced as an important subject, which will definitely help us get quality people. So I think these are some of the 3 or 4 things which, if the draft policy could incorporate, that will be very helpful, because these are ground realities. You may have any policy, you may have any logistics policy, but if these ground realities are not considered, any real good policy also will not give the desired results. That's what I feel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harpreet, for being with us this afternoon and sharing your perspectives on varied topics. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.